Italy just rewrote the rules, and almost nobody outside of private advisory rooms is talking about it. In the next 14 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 5 legal routes to live, work, retire, or claim a passport in Italy. One of them, by the way, may have just disappeared for half of the families who were counting on it. If you're watching this, you already know the conversation has shifted. The clients we sit across from at Global Freedom Capital are no longer asking us, should I have a plan B? They're asking, how fast can it be operational? They're founders who have already exited. They're surgeons and attorneys earning 7 figures who feel boxed in. They're families with grandchildren they would like raised somewhere quieter, safer, more cultured. And almost all of them, at some point in the conversation, mention Italy. Italy is no longer just a holiday. For a growing class of American and global investors, it is becoming the strategic answer to 4 very specific questions. How do I diversify where my family is anchored? How do I protect my family's mobility? How do I gain access to the European Union for the next generation? And how do I do all of that without giving up the lifestyle I have worked decades to build? 2 important things have shifted in the last 18 months, and they shift the entire calculation. First, the descent door narrowed. In March of 2025, Italy passed sweeping reform to its citizenship by descent system. For more than a century, anyone who could trace an unbroken Italian bloodline could claim a passport. That door is now, for most applicants, restricted to those with a parent or a grandparent born in Italy. Millions of Americans who assumed they had time no longer do, at least not through the traditional route. Second, the digital and lifestyle routes finally opened. In April of 2024, Italy launched its long-awaited digital Nomad visa. Combined with the elective residence option for retirees and the investor visa for founders, Italy now offers what almost no other G7 country offers: a complete menu of legal residency pathways, indexed to your life stage and your capital position. So let's walk through all 5 of them, clearly, in order, and without the noise. Before we get into the programs, here is the framing my team uses with every family who walks through our door. Residency is not citizenship. Citizenship is not tax residency. And for American clients in particular, none of these are interchangeable, and none of them remove your obligation to the IRS. Americans are taxed on worldwide income regardless of where they live. So when we sit with American families, the conversation is never about escaping tax. It is about gaining EU access, family mobility, legal residency in a country you love, and a coordinated cross-border structure that requires both Italian and American counsel. Italy gives you the rare ability to layer these instruments, to be tax resident in one configuration, EU resident under another, and on a glide path to a passport under a third. The wealthy don't pick one. They sequence them. Now, the 5 routes. Route 1. Italian citizenship by descent. Jure Sanguinis. If you have Italian blood, Italy may already consider you Italian. Jure Sanguinis, right of blood, has historically been the most powerful immigration tool in the Western world. No investment, no language test, no years of physical presence, just paperwork. The reform passed earlier this year limits new applicants to those with a parent or grandparent born in Italy. The expansive great-grandparent and great-great-grandparent applications that defined this category for 40 years are, for the moment, restricted. Pending cases in certain categories remain in play. But the practical message is this: if you've been telling yourself you'll get to the paperwork next year, that strategy is no longer available. 2 of 3 Americans of Italian descent still qualify under the new framework. They simply need a clean documentary chain, birth, marriage, naturalization records, and an experienced legal team to navigate the consulate or the new judicial path. This is the cheapest passport you will ever obtain. It is also the most rigorous documentary exercise you will ever undertake. Get it right the first time. Route 2. The investor visa via innovative startup. Italy will issue you a 2-year residency permit in exchange for €250,000 committed to one of its officially registered innovative startups. The capital is invested, not donated, not paid to the government. You become a shareholder. Why do sophisticated investors use this route? 2 reasons. First, €250,000 is the lowest capital threshold of any Italian investor route. Second, Italy has built one of Europe's most underrated startup ecosystems, particularly in Milan, Turin, and the so-called Italian Silicon Valley around Trento. You're not throwing money away. You're taking a venture position in a country that needs your capital and is willing to reward you with residency to access it. Your spouse and dependent children come with you on family reunification. You're free to travel across the Schengen zone. You're free to work, found additional companies, or simply collect dividends. After 10 years, you're eligible to apply for citizenship, assuming you've maintained your residency and met the language standard. Route 3. The investor visa via established company or bonds. If the startup risk profile isn't a fit, Italy offers 3 other capital thresholds, each tailored to a different investor temperament. €500,000, the operating company route. €500,000 invested in an existing Italian limited company. Old industry, family-owned businesses, hospitality, manufacturing. You get a position in a real Italian asset and you get your residency. €1,000,000. The philanthropic route. A €1,000,000 donation to an Italian project of public interest, cultural restoration, scientific research, immigration support, heritage preservation. You're not buying residency. You're being recognized for civic contribution. Many of our clients prefer this option for legacy reasons. €2,000,000. The sovereign route. €2,000,000 into Italian government bonds, held for a minimum of 2 years. The most conservative path. You earn the coupon. The Italian treasury earns your capital. You earn residency. All 3 close into the same destination. A 2-year permit, family inclusion, freedom of movement in the Schengen zone, and a 10-year glide path to the passport if you choose to pursue it. Route 4. The digital Nomad visa. Launched in April of 2024, this is Italy's newest visa, and quietly, the most useful one we are seeing executives reach for. If you are a highly skilled remote worker, a developer, a consultant, a marketing leader, a fund manager working from anywhere, you can now legally reside in Italy as long as your income, your insurance, and your accommodation meet the standard. 5 years ago, if you wanted to live in Florence and run your American business from there, you were operating in a legal gray zone. That zone is now closed, and that's a good thing. The digital Nomad visa makes the lifestyle legitimate. You can rent a long-term apartment, you can register your children in school, you can open a bank account, you can use the Italian healthcare system, you become a real resident. For American clients, a word on planning. Becoming an Italian resident triggers Italian tax considerations on top of your existing U.S. obligations, and the interaction between the 2 systems is technical. There is a U.S.-Italy tax treaty. There are foreign tax credits. There is the foreign earned income exclusion under certain conditions. None of it is automatic. All of it requires coordinated planning between your American CPA and qualified Italian counsel before you move. Done casually, you create headaches. Done correctly, the structure holds. Route 5. The elective residence visa for retirees. If your wealth produces income while you sleep, pensions, dividends, real estate rentals, annuities, capital gains, structured trusts, and you would like to spend the next chapter of your life in Italy, this is your visa. It's called elective residence because you are electing to live in Italy on the strength of your existing capital. You are not working. You are not running an Italian business. You are simply, in the most elegant sense, retiring. This is, in my view, the most underused visa in Europe for the right family. Why? Because the lifestyle Italy offers a retiree at this stage of life is, quite simply, unmatched. Restored stone properties walking distance from the sea. Full access to one of the world's most respected healthcare systems. A pace of life designed around the family table. There are Italian tax regimes that exist alongside this visa, and for non-American audiences they can be highly attractive. For American clients specifically, those Italian regimes interact with U.S. worldwide taxation in ways that are individual to each family and require precise cross-border planning. We always tell our American clients the same thing. Choose Italy for the life Italy offers. Then build the structure that makes the move sustainable, never the other way around. Now, let me speak plainly about risk. Italy is a bureaucratic country. Documents take time. Consulates have backlogs. The recent citizenship reform was a reminder that the rules can shift faster than family timelines allow. Programs that exist today can be modified tomorrow. We've already seen it happen. Real estate purchases for foreigners involve notaries, codis fiscal registration, and translated documents. Healthcare access depends on which residency category you hold. Cross-border tax planning for Americans requires a CPA and an Italian counterpart who actually coordinate. Without proper guidance, families lose months or build structures that do not hold up to either jurisdiction. And the opportunity? Despite all of that, Italy remains, in our advisory view, one of the most underpriced sovereign opportunities in the Western world. You receive an EU passport pathway. You receive Schengen access. You receive a healthcare system ranked among the world's best. You receive cultural assets that no money can manufacture. And you receive a quality of life that is difficult to articulate until you have spent a real year inside it. What you don't receive is forever. Every advantageous program closes eventually. The question is whether you position yourself before the door narrows further. Let me walk you through what this looks like in practice. Names changed, structure preserved. Last year we worked with a couple in their early 60s. American. He sold his medical practice. She is a published author with international royalties. Their goal? Spend half the year in Europe, anchor near their adult daughter in Milan, leave their 3 grandchildren a passport, and build a real European chapter of their family life. We sequenced their move across 3 Italian instruments. First, elective residence visa for both of them. They purchased a restored property in a 12,000-person town in Puglia. Second, a coordinated cross-border planning engagement between their American CPA and our Italian counsel before any of the structural decisions were finalized. That is non-negotiable for American clients. Third, an investor visa pathway initiated for their adult daughter, who placed 250,000 euros into a Milan-based AI startup. Her residency will become their bridge to long-term family settlement, and ultimately to citizenship by naturalization for the grandchildren raised in Italy. Total elapsed time from first meeting to landing in Puglia, 8 months. 3 grandchildren on a glide path to European citizenship, a family with an anchored second home, real access to the continent, and the lifestyle they had been quietly hoping for. That, more than any number, is the result our clients tell us mattered. The architecture matters. Here is what I want you to take away. Every meaningful sovereign program in the last decade, Portugal's Golden Visa, the original UK investor route, Cyprus citizenship, even pieces of Malta, has been narrowed or repriced. Italy is in the early stages of that same cycle. The descent door narrowed in March. The digital nomad rules will be refined as adoption grows. Programs evolve. If your family has been considering Italy, the planning conversation needs to happen now. Not because we sell urgency, but because the regulatory record is unambiguous. Doors close, quietly, without warning, and they don't reopen. At Global Freedom Capital, our team has structured Italian residency and citizenship strategies for founders, retirees, family offices, and dual passport seekers across 4 continents. We do not push programs, we architect outcomes. And for our American clients, we coordinate every move with qualified U.S. tax counsel, because that coordination is what makes the structure actually work. If you are seriously considering Italy, whether for citizenship by descent, an investor route, the digital nomad path, or the retirement layer, we offer a confidential, fee-based strategy session. We map your timeline, your family structure, and your end state. You leave with a clear, written plan, not a brochure. The link is in the description. Reach out at globalfreedomcapital.com. Mention this video, and our team will route you directly to the Italy desk. I'm David White. Thank you for your time. We'll see you in the next briefing.